Hello everyone, welcome to Black Sheep. So I'm going to take you something interesting that happened in December 2022. So at the 77th UN General Assembly, there was a vote brought forward by the developing countries to establish a new international economic order. So 64% of the countries were in favor of it, and that's a lot of countries. Imagine 123 countries voting for it and the rest didn't. So before I get into this more, I'm going to take you a little bit of history. The Global South, which is also known as the developing countries like India, China, Brazil, South Africa, wanted a new economic system in 1974. And this was because of the colonial economic system that the Western countries built to favor themselves. And what happened for the past 5 decades was the Western countries has been opposing this for obvious reasons, and this new international economic order was never came into effect. Why? Because the Western countries could oppose it back then. But today, we are now in 2023, and it's not that easy anymore. You'll see why. So what's this new international economic order? It's a proposal brought forward by developing countries, as I mentioned before, to discuss 4 major points. Number 1, they wanted fair prices for the raw materials they export to developed countries. And number 2, they want to increase aid and investments to build infrastructure, education, healthcare, and all those basic needs. And number 3, they want more representation in institutions like the World Bank or the IMF to shape the global economy. And lastly, they wanted access to technology to build infrastructure for themselves and reduce dependency on the developed countries and other foreign services. By the looks of it, it may not be a surprise as to why the Western countries would oppose this new international economic order. But even though that's been the case for the past 5 decades, this change is quite inevitable in the coming years, because we see things like the Russia-Ukraine war kind of bringing questions and accelerating the de-dollarization, because we saw how the US and its allies weaponized the US dollar against Russia, and this was a wake-up call to all the developing countries. And today we see the BRICS countries trying to create their own currency and all that, because they're slowly starting to realize how holding on to dollars is not going to be great for them, because they're giving up on its dollar reserves right now to do foreign trade, giving rise to de-dollarization a bit more over the past few months. So this is a great opportunity for the BRICS countries to be leading this shift in power from the West. And especially China, India and Russia, they're taking strong stances on their foreign policies. So we also see countries like Saudi Arabia slowly dropping the petrodollar and accepting Chinese yuan or Indian rupees for their oil. So that's a big thing, and we'll cover why that's important in perhaps like another video. In 2012, a Harvard Business Review report said the West's strategy for rejecting these demands by developing countries is going to sustain for too long, and we see that kind of obvious today, because the BRICS currencies, they're coming up with their new currency, and everyone else around them becoming like more and more powerful, and perhaps like in the coming years, the West wouldn't be able to oppose these demands from the developing countries. So we'll probably get to the bottom of it in more videos that we're going to do next. So stay tuned with us, and thank you for watching.